let's take a look at a museum outside Wilmington, Delaware, that has been dedicated to the preservation of steam technology. And it's not just about railroads.
As we move farther and faster into the age of the microchip, it's comforting to hearken back to a simpler time when steam drove our machines. It's a technology that's being forgotten, but not here at Auburn Heights.
Well, a lot of kids nowadays that are growing up, they don't even know what steam was, how it ran everything, mills and cars and so on and so forth. So that's what we try to do here.
There are a lot of machines that run on steam today that nobody thinks about, but these are all antique machines here. The steam engines, the train engines, and the steam car engines. And Tom Marshall has opened his doors to all of us and really taken us under his wing and showed us how everything operates, and then we can operate it.
Tom Marshall's family owned Auburn Heights in Delaware for 3 generations. In 2008, Tom and his wife Ruth donated the grounds and buildings to the Delaware State Parks. But the one-of-a-kind collection of steam-powered cars, trains, and machines are maintained by the Friends of Auburn Heights. It's a unique public-private venture that's resulted in a working tribute to steam technology.
Staff people from the Division of Parks and the volunteers from the Friends of Auburn Heights work together to try to make the whole an interesting place.
And an interesting place it is. The centerpiece of the Auburn Heights Preserve is the Auburn Valley Railroad. This is an adventure as well as a history lesson.
The train operation came into being in the early 1960s when Tom Marshall's dad built the steam engines from kits that were produced in California. All the kits were rough castings, and he did all the machining himself and all the assembling himself, and decided that maybe he could run them around here and take passengers for rides. So they built this 3/4 mile track around the property and opened up just to friends and family in the 1960s. And it grew in the 1970s. He was open to the general public. And then now that we've started this organization here to take care of the property and the engines, we are open to the public and run them 8 times a year, every Sunday over the summer months.
Oh, this is a very special place. It's like taking a step back in time, and we're constantly moving forward. We have some wonderful volunteers who actually won the Governor's Volunteer of the Year award last year.
You have it, okay.
A friend invited me to come out to be a part of this group, to at least see what was going on, and I came out in '98, and I've been here ever since.
A friend of mine got me involved, and after he came down to the first meeting and said, "You guys really ought to go down." So Bill Schwobel and I both came down and loved it.
Well, I came here about 2.5 years ago after I read an article in the local paper that you could actually come here and volunteer. And I came over to one of the events and found the people were extraordinarily nice. And Tom Marshall in particular was really welcoming. So I came 1st of December that year, and 6 months later, Tom had me driving the steam cars.
We want to get the word out about our collections. We actually have the largest collection of operating steam cars in the world.
It's true. The largest collection of operating Stanley steam cars in the world was begun by Tom's dad in 1908, who was one of the country's first Stanley steamer dealers. He passed the love for steam down to Tom, and the collection grew. But it's not the size of the collection that matters to Tom. It's that all these old cars and trains continue to work.
My favorite aspect would have to do with the mechanical things we have here. I spent a lot of time over the years building and maintaining the little railroad around, and the equipment that runs on the railroad, and I certainly like the automobiles.
Tom Marshall has gone out of his way to teach people who knew nothing about steam how to run the automobiles and how to keep them on the road.
So I've been in it now for, 63 years. I would rather do this than do old folks' activities down at the retirement facility where we are. And someday that'll change, but right now I'm up here almost every day tinkering on something.
We like it too, Tom, because there's a magic in steam, but few places to experience it like here at Auburn Heights.